Hey everybody, Brian Boyle here, and welcome to episode 51 of The Mesh Tongue. And hopefully you had a fantastic weekend. It is Monday, it is President's Day, and maybe you're off today, maybe you're off doing something fun, maybe just recovering from the race that you had this weekend. I saw some fantastic photos of people running all sorts of different races. The Austin Marathon went on this past weekend. Lots and lots of different races. So hopefully if you did race, you had a great time. These early season marathons can sometimes be tough depending on where you're at and where you're trying to train. But it looked like some fantastic stuff going on over the weekend. So again, thank you for the questions, the comments, the concerns. I always say concerns, but you get the drift. The questions and comments, keep them coming in. I definitely appreciate them. So Brian at company5k.com, and that's Brian, not with a Y, at company5, the number 5k.com. I'll be happy to answer those, but leave any comments below this video. Again, how did you do this weekend? What race did you run? If you've got any questions about anything that they're talking about here, by all means, then kind of leave it below. So today I want to talk to you about a different tape job. And yesterday I showed you a tape job for the knee. It's again, I always have to preface this, and you don't see this very often, but there's not a whole lot of research on KT tape, or let's say Kinesiotape. I keep using the brand name, and I apologize. That's what I happen to have on hand here, but I use a bunch of different things. So I'm not promoting one particular brand or the other, so don't go with that. But what most people don't realize is that there's not a whole lot of research that actually shows why or how the tape works. All right, so you are going into this kind of in uncharted territory. It's not an exact science. Again, it comes down to that technique. There are certain suggestions that people have come up with that say, well, this works better than that. But again, it really is going to come down to the individual. So I encourage you to try these. All right, if it does not work for you, then keep going, keep looking for something else. Okay, just because you've had one bad meal doesn't mean you've given up on food altogether. So if the tape job doesn't work, try another one. Okay, there's lots of stuff out there. You do have to be careful about where you're getting the information from. All right, so there are some trusted resources out there, and hopefully this being one of them. All right, again, this is one technique that I will use. I'm going to talk today about the Achilles and also a little bit of the plantar fascia. So if you're having some issues in the back of the heel, then this tape will sometimes work. Again, it's not a foolproof thing. I could have 100 patients and this may work 70% of the time, and then another 30 we've got to try something else. Downside of also taping around the foot and ankle is that when you go to put your sock on and off, the tape doesn't last as long. So be aware of that. If you're used to getting tape for a couple of days in a body part, this one is probably not. This one in the ankle, probably about a day, maybe just through your workout. Then the tape's gonna rub. Quite oftentimes it's just the friction from the shoe, sock, whatever it may be, getting in and out of the shower, it's gonna come off. So be aware of that you may be taping this more often if that's the case. It is what it is. But so why you would use this tape, again, we talk about the Achilles. So if you've got some Achilles tendonitis, maybe you've got a bursitis in the back of the Achilles, maybe you've got a little bit of a plantar fasciitis that's going on, that would be the reason why you would use this tape. Again, as I've talked to you in the past, this is not one of those things that's going to work for everybody. So if somebody comes and says, oh, well, I tried that, didn't work, great. All right, we're not going into this saying this is going to work 100% of the time. So you want to make sure that you prep the skin, especially if you've got sock fuzz and things like that, take that off. You don't usually have to worry about hair as much in this particular region, but taking rubbing alcohol, prep your skin, and make sure that the skin is nice and dry, remove any oils. That'll go a long way to keeping the tape on for an extended period of time. This is about the only time where I'll actually take the tape and I'll leave it in the same configuration just for this area. But again, I may even take that down just depending on the leg length. So if I'm dealing with a smaller athlete, we may have to take the tape down. And kind of, again, what I'm talking about is cutting it down. Make sure we don't have any square edges. Make sure you round the edges. Okay. The other thing is that I'm going to use 2 pieces of tape here, but I am going to cut down the other piece. So once again, we'll probably take 4 inches, okay, and we're just going to round that off. Okay, so we've got the two pieces. We've got one long strip and we've got one shorter strip, and I'll show you the reason why in a second here. But the key with the tape, again, is more or less just applying it, knowing where to apply it. Okay, so generally speaking, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to turn around here in a second, I'm going to show you. Again, these are designed to be showing you how to do it yourself, not having to come in to see me or somebody like myself to do this. So, you know, if it seems a little bit strange, it's a little tough to do this to yourself, but it can be done. So just realize that. So, without further ado. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself, you put your knee up on a chair. Okay, you want to take the toes and you want to flex them. Okay, so that you're all the way front. You don't want your toes pointed back. Okay, you want to have a little bit of a stretch on here to begin with. All right, we're going to again take your tape, cut it in half here. You're going to start off by applying the tape down and around. Okay, so you can start off here, kind of applying the tape with your toes flexed, because it's just going to be harder to get it on there. Alright, we're going to take the tape off, or the backing of the tape off, and then you really want to apply that foot, okay, and turn the foot forward. Alright, and again, so you can kind of take the stretch and then you can back it off, and then you're going to just apply it, okay, and don't stretch the last piece here. And don't stretch the front piece here, but you can kind of apply this stretch across here. Okay, so it's down about halfway through the foot. All right, thinking about the plantar fascia coming in through here, coming across. Achilles tendon is going to come across here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just gently apply some friction here so that we don't have any. And this is the tough part. We don't have any bubbles in the tape, so it should sit nice and flush right up against the Achilles. And the goal is to have that so that it doesn't feel like it's stretching. Okay, it doesn't feel like it's restricting any movement. I should have full stretch on that. Okay, so we're good there. Take my extra piece of tape. I'm going to apply this right around the ankle malleoli. So think about the two bones at the ankle. All right, what you're going to do is you're going to take the tape. Again, you're going to just peel it in the middle here. And this particular one, what you're going to do is you're just going to get the tape, okay, right here in the middle, and you apply the tape, and make sure you've got any bubbles out. Okay, one side, take the other paper off. That way you've got an equal amount of pressure on the tape, because again, this is tough to do with one hand. All right, it's going right at the bone there. It's kind of an anchor, but it's also going to lift the Achilles. Okay, so when you're kind of going through here, all right, it's going to lift that up. So if you've got any sort of bursa or inflammation in the tendon, that's going to help alleviate that. So again, should be pretty quick and painless. There is an art form to this, so if you try it a couple times, it may take the first couple of times to get through it. You may have to go see a physical therapist, have them apply it for you, and say, hey, you know what, how do I do this, and just get used to it. Grab a roll of tape. You know, you can get some tape online pretty easily and pretty inexpensively, so try it. Work on it, all right, see what it feels like. If it feels pretty decent, again, go with it. If it doesn't, keep on looking. So hopefully that helps. This is more for the ankle. This would be for, you know, kind of a plantar fascia and or an Achilles type of thing. We can look at some other taping. This is just one particular style, so don't get crazy if you say, well, gosh, I do this and mine works. Okay, not a problem. Keep doing what works for you. All right, so if you've already tried a tape job and it works for you, then keep going. All right, don't worry about just because I showed you this, that this is the only way that's going to work. I can show you a couple different ways, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It's not an exact science. So, Brian Boyle, runpainless.com, episode 51 of The Mesh Tongue. If you've got questions, send them my way, Brian at company5, the number 5k.com. I'll be happy to answer them, and hopefully you find some value in this. If you do, please share it with your friends, your family, your training partners. But whatever you do, don't go hurt yourself to come on back. Hey, we'll see you again tomorrow.